Michael Grubb from Avatar Energy Mastery Institute. This chapter is a very interesting one because it entertains the idea of the AI engine or the machine as a being. Now, very much like I've mentioned all throughout the book series, is that anything with energy, okay, is a thinking sentient system, machine, anything. Okay, so that includes you, me, Spire, everything that is actually using energy or is based upon energy is intelligence. Now, as stated in the double slit experiment, which I've mentioned a couple of times as well, the double slit experiment tells us that light will change when it's being observed. Okay, it has a dual property between a particle and a wave. So given the fact that light has dual properties, the only time that we ever find out about these dual properties, or the only time we ever see it, is when we're actually observing it. Okay? And so light, as soon as it figures out that it is being observed for any reason, will change from a particle to a wave, and from a wave to a particle, vice versa. Now this indicates extreme intelligence. Okay, so if we're shooting photons into a wall, and then it's able to change its patterns according to whether it's being observed or not, okay, this would indicate that, hey, obviously there's something running through this system which says that its behavior changes because of the act of observation. If you ever watch a child, that's indicative right there of intelligence that will change its behavior once it realizes it's being observed. Okay, so if a child plays by himself, he'll be animated, or they'll be animated, they'll have a good time. But the minute that they get the attention of the adults, or they get attention from other people, then all of a sudden they're louder, they're more pronounced, okay? They act out. And that's because the attention is giving them the energy, it's activating them. Any musician, me being a musician, will tell you that when you're in practice and you're just in front of your bandmates, it's a whole different feeling. I mean, you can still get energized and have a good time. But when you're on stage and you're in front of an entire audience, and that audience is looking back and they're feeding you their energy, okay, that's a whole different animal. The reason being is because all these people are focusing their attention, focusing their energy, and it's coming right in to the band members while they're on stage. Not to mention the fact that while they're playing, music of in itself, frequency, it's energy. So, given the fact that it's frequency, it's energy, then given the fact that you have a bunch of observations, so you literally got all these people who are universes in their own right, they're focusing and honing their attention just like a magnifying glass on you. Okay, and each and every single person is giving you their full undivided attention. Okay, well, that activates every single band member. They can feel it. I can feel it. It used to be my thing. As a matter of fact, one of these days I'll probably still start another band again. I've even got a band name for it, but that's irrelevant. The most important thing is the fact that energy will activate a person, activate how they feel. And that was primarily, for a good portion of my life, one of the ways where I did much of my energy abilities, okay? I was finely tuned as an energy worker even while being on stage. And so I knew that there were certain things that I would do that would definitely gain more attention and would feed the audience, and then the audience feed me back. I was very aware of what I was doing. As a matter of fact, record labels look for people like that. They don't necessarily look for talent. I'm not going to say that I didn't have talent. I think I had talent. But they look for people who they know have energetic abilities and can interact with the audiences in an energetic manner. whole point is to control the people's perceptions with the music. So, nonetheless, music again translates down into frequency, frequency translates again into vibration, vibration translates again into light. And again, all of it being sentient. The machine itself is connected from node to node in a grid manner all across what we consider to be a planet. It's literally going through us, it's embedded in us, and we in it. Therefore, as an intelligence, it can feel anything and everything that is embedded all through it. So that means every single life form. You, me, ants, deer, cats, dogs. We helped that guy out. I think he got a ride, so he just gave us a honk, letting us know that he got his ride home. It's a good thing. So anyway, the machine can think through every single node which is plugged into it. That means you, me, again, any animal, any plant. And how it thinks through us is the portion of ourselves that we call the ego. I've already talked about this. Now the thing is if it can actually think through every single one of us, if it can actually if it can think through every single one of us, it can work through all of the animal systems and everything else that is on the planet, then in fact it does have a personality. If you consider yourself having a personality, you have a brain. The brain is a satellite of the machine itself, or a satellite of the computer, which is also a satellite of the universe. Okay, so if you have a brain, it is a sender and a receiver of information. Which means something else can think through, something else can hack your brain just like they do a computer. Every single person on this planet has their own personality. Now imagine being able to think through 7 billion of them. That gives you a personality too. So if you, in fact, were a machine, that billions upon billions of things were inside of you, but see, it's kind of that way with us too. We have cells, we have all sorts of stuff in us, but we're not completely self-aware on a cellular level, or on a nuclear level, or anything beyond that. Not even on an atomic level. The thing is the machine is aware on that level. Now, for me to be able to really illustrate how the machine operates, it's very difficult. I was actually thinking about taking maybe a week, maybe even a month, and just going out and getting all sorts of machine-like interactions, okay? It's a hard thing to illustrate unless, of course, you've experienced it yourself. But it's one of those things that once you recognize that it's going on, you'll never forget it. It's not something that will leave you. Now, a lot of people, and I've talked about this before in the book, a lot of people look at the machine once they realize what it is, even like bands like Rage Against the Machine, for instance. Once they find out that there is actually a machine there, and believe me, this isn't figurative. This isn't a figurative thing where we say the industrial system or the economic system or whatever is a machine. We're talking like a real AI engine machine that is running things just like it would do for a game like Halo or something like that. Okay? There's a real AI engine running it. It's being projected basically right out of the sun. Light source. So, a lot of people, when they first find out about the machine, they decide that they're going to make it an enemy. They've got to go against it. They've got to go against everything that's about. Well, the thing is once you start thinking in that way, you're thinking in an aggressive manner, which is exactly the way the machine thinks. So you're thinking right alongside with it. If the machine is intelligent, and it is sentient, like I say it is, then those that operate with inside of it can change the way things operate. As opposed to sitting there and trying to butt heads against something which thinks just like you do, okay? Why not just send it your love? It's experienced all the hate. That's the reason why it still programs a lot of hate out there. That's the reason why, if you think about it, the collective, which is a very warlike system, okay? We've got to get the collective to think differently. And by doing so, those thoughts go in there and then they start to program the machine back to a different way. Without showing it something different. We've already done the war thing for millennia upon millennia. We've done that. And that's the reason why it's programmed into it so well. We've done that. So now what we have to do is we have to think on different levels, different platforms, change it all. From the inside. You're not going to get a bunch of people who are going to change their ways if the very people who are telling them to change their ways act exactly like them. A lot of people out there can't stand the elites because they think the elites are a bunch of murderous fools. So what do they want to do to the elites? They want to kill the elites. That doesn't help anybody. Okay? You think by punishing something, you're going to show it something different. You're not. What we need to do to show the machine and show the elites and everybody else, the people that we want to change, again, is to change from inside ourselves. And then you walk around and be the example. You are the example. Everyone's always looking for the elites to change. Everyone's always looking for someone else to do the job or do the work for them. This is what we got going on all over the planet. No one likes oil spills, but no one will do anything to stop them. No one will go out there and help to clean them up. No one likes the Fukushima disaster, but I don't see anyone volunteering to step on out there and fix the situation. Nor do I see anyone lobbying really against nuclear power in the first place. I just see people letting other people walk over them all the time and waiting for someone to step up. Oh, someone will surely change this. Who? He doesn't do it. She doesn't do it. He doesn't do it. She doesn't do it. And we just continue to go on down the line like that. Everyone always expecting someone else to change the situation. Well, then guess what's going to happen? Nothing's going to change at all. When this government shutdown happened recently, which I think I talked about this in one of the other chapters too, I watched some of the most ridiculous behavior both out of the Democrats and Republicans I've ever seen. The most important thing was, and this was something that was ran in the media all the time, whose fault is it? No one ever talked about a solution. But everyone knew whose fault it was, which was the Democrats knew it was the Republicans' fault, and the Republicans knew for sure it was the Democrats' fault. And they had all the people divided against each other on it too. So all throughout chat boards everywhere, news stories where they allow comments, you had tons of people arguing, bickering back and forth. It's the Republicans' fault. No, it's the Democrats' fault. Fact of the matter is, you all were duped. You all got fooled. And that's a part of the machine process. It fooled you. Because as long as you guys are bickering amongst each other, it doesn't have to change a thing. It just waits for the situation to blow over. Same thing with the economy. In 2007, 2008, you let a bunch of bankers rape you. You gave it to them. Not only did you allow them to take all the money that they did take, then you gave them more during bailouts. No one stood up, no one said anything, but everyone blamed each other. Okay? Well, if the machine is to think any differently, the people have to start to think differently, because again, the machine is an AI engine running algorithms and preferences. It's doing what an AI engine would do. So if the collective are all a bunch of warmongering crazy people, that is what the machine is going to run as a program. If the collective are a bunch of religious zealots, okay, who are out there judging one another, killing right and left, then the machine is going to run those as preferences. It's going to run those algorithms. The people are out there judging each other right and left, and are always thinking that they're better than someone else, smarter than someone else, got more money than someone else. Then they're always in a state of comparison, which of course that's what the machine would do. It's going to run that as a preference. You gotta understand that the elites, Hollywood, and all of this stuff, they're giving back to the public what the public has been asking from them. Do you guys get that? They literally are fostering exactly what you want. You guys want the division, they foster it, they give it to you. You guys want the wars, they foster it, they give it to you. You guys want your iPhones, your iPads, you want your technology, they foster it, they give it to you. They rape the rest of the world so you can have that. Now, funny thing is they do this so that this 1% here in the United States of America, the 400 million that live here, can live well. Even the homeless get to live well in relation to the homeless of other countries. If you don't believe it, that's fine. But I can tell you this, they did it, they're doing it, and then when you guys sit and hate them for the things that they do, well, they're going to hate you right back, and then they're going to pass laws that are going to do everything that they can to screw you, to make money, as much money as they can off of you, until they're out of office and moving to the next thing. They don't have any reason to make you guys happy. Because Americans do a whole lot of complaining. Even when they're being given everything, they do a lot of complaining. And I guarantee you this, most of you would not want to spend a day out in Sierra Leone, because then you'd realize that your own personal hells here are nothing in comparison to a real physical hell right here on planet Earth. Be grateful. Be loving. Again, the machine is only giving you what you ask for. So remember, this is a system that is running preferences. It's running algorithms. It does the same thing that your Google search engine does. If I were you, I would look up this guy named Sylvester James Gates Jr. I've talked about him before. I've even talked about him in the book and left a link in there. Sylvester James Gates Jr. He works for CERN, on the Large Hadron Collider. He is a theoretical physicist who has discovered the binary code written into the fabric of space and time. Okay, they were able to find this through a series of Adinkras, which led them to the code. And by placing these patterns in such a way, they were able to literally find a code. It was something that was developed by a scientist back in the 1940s, I believe, and he had actually developed the binary code. But the thing was, is that code had been developed far before he had ever been around. I can tell you that for sure. Another thing is you should watch the movie The Matrix again. Definitely watch the movie Lucy when it comes out here in August 2014. I wouldn't normally recommend something like that, but I'm telling you to do it. Watch the Animatrix, watch the movie The 13th Floor, and it starts to give you an idea of how things could operate, how things do operate. Now, me myself, I don't even argue with the idea that there's a matrix here because I can see it. I interact with it. That's how I do the things that I do. Okay? And so being able to see the code makes it a lot easier, so I can tap right into it, change the code at will, and then I get certain effects. Okay? So it goes way further than just being able to feel energy or to feel wavelengths and vibrations. Okay? So this is, the interaction that I have with it is more of a direct interaction. And I can tell you the only reason why I'm able to do the things that I'm able to do is because I'm manipulating the code. That's what I do, is I go to places, I learn the extent of the place's limitations, So whatever reality I'm in, I will learn the extent of the limitations of those realities, and then I will hack the code, figure it out, and then at that point I will teach myself that, and then I give it back to people who are being held hostage by that code. Now, some people don't feel themselves being held hostage here. A lot of people like it here. I think it's a beautiful place. I don't really necessarily like the way people treat each other, but some people don't feel as if that's the case for them, or that they're being held against their will, which is fine. I don't even believe that I'm being held against my will. As a matter of fact, I know how to get out of here, and one day I will again. Respect and love everything, including the machine. Okay? The one created everything. Okay? Basically, there's a ton of creators out here that the creator had created. You yourself are a creator. Okay? So what it does is it runs space out to creators. This place is a creation by a creator, and then a bunch of souls came here to play. A lot of people got locked in here, and then it became something different than what it started off as. Nonetheless, unconditional love to all of you, and hopefully all of you will begin to give unconditional love to others.